What's up, guys? It's Sound Alchemist here, back at it again with
Gersh 1,
bringing you more crazy episodes of For the Greater.
Like always, you guys comment down below any questions that you have for us, and we answer them every either Monday or Tuesday, or every Tuesday or Wednesday. Two in a row.
Right.
Last week we were delayed because stuff was going on.
Yeah, warp storms were everywhere.
Actually, as a matter of fact, if you want to get like an up-to-date like a synopsis of what's going on with the channel, because we have been missing a couple days in the past couple weeks, subscribe to our Facebook, or follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. We're going to be posting a lot of stuff on there, so if you're ever wondering, hey, why isn't there a video up this week or today, the information is going to be on our Facebook page, so follow.
Alright, the first question is by Ben Smith, and he says, what would happen, or what if the Horus Heresy never happened? I mean, if there was absolutely no civil war.
That's really good, because we've answered before what would happen if there was no Horus Heresy, meaning no Horus betrayal. What I think is that the heresy would still occur.
Mm-hmm.
But if there was absolutely no civil war, well, what do you think would happen?
Alright, it would, I feel like it would, I mean, the Imperium would be 1,000 times bigger. The Great Crusade would still continue. The Webway project would still continue and be finished, and that would lead to a huge expanse in their territory.
Exactly. Let me fix the camera real quick, because it's kind of low. There you go. Now you can see our beautiful faces. It's a lot better.
Oh yeah.
Jumping off of that, what I think would have happened was, like you said, the Webway project would have been completed, but the Eldar, especially the Harlequins, would be a much bigger threat to the Imperium at large, because they're going to see an invasion of their territory.
Right.
No other race has conquered the Webway as well as the Eldar, other than the old ones, which created them.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Emperor manages to access the Webway, it's like there's a whole new race that has never ever had that power, has that power, and now the Eldars are going to be after them. And I think because the Eldar are so much smarter than the Imperium, at least from what we see today, the Eldar would have brought down the Imperium a lot more. So right now, like, the big threat is chaos. Like, you always hear the Emperor protects. You always hear burn the witch, whatever.
Heresy, blam.
Yeah. In this alternate universe where there was no heresy, it would be the Emperor watches over us. The Emperor kills the alien or burns the Xenos.
Right.
So it's going to be very xenocentric or xenophobic.
There you go.
Society instead of a chaos, hatred society.
Right. But I mean, at the same time, you also got to remember that even though the Eldar are going to pose a bigger threat, they still have double the Space Marine legions at their disposal. Like, before, you didn't have Horus, Emperor's Children, all those guys. Now, they're still loyal to the Emperor, so you got them bolstering your defenses.
But I think it would play, like, the game itself would play completely different if that would happen. Because right now, you have 5-man squads, 10-man squads of Space Marine, and they can take on a 10-man squad of, or no, what's the minimum squad for Eldar?
No, like 8?
Yeah, like 8 man. So, but basically
for Guardians, I think.
Yeah, so it's basically there's always more Eldar than there are Space Marine, and I think that would be opposite. In the game, if there was this alternate reality, Space Marine would be fewer and stronger. Space Marines would be a little more. Just think of like Space Wolves, because you know how you can like spam a bunch of blood claws.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be like that with regular Space Marines, and the Eldar would have much better saves, kind of like the Necrons are now, where you don't play as many of them, but they're not too strong or more stronger than Space Marine, but they have a lot better saves. They might have some type of reserve, like the reanimation protocol, something that plays to that aspect. Where, like you said, because it's reflecting that there are more Space Marine than there are Eldar. The Eldar, I feel like, are a big threat still.
Yeah.
So that's what I think would happen if the Horus Heresy was never happened, I guess.
Right, but I feel like there'd still be some huge cataclysmic event.
Oh yeah, of course.
But what would it be?
I mean, Tyranids would still be around and all that junk.
Right. Good question.
Yeah, thank you for sending that our way. Next question.
The next question is the Grand Crusader. When are more Raven Guard videos coming? I'd like to hear more about the Chapter Master's Shrike, please. Also, what do you think of the theory that one of the missing Primarchs is not dead?
What?
So yeah, more Shrike videos and Raven Guard, all that stuff is coming. Just give it time.
Yeah, I'll say a month. Give us a month at least.
Yeah.
Because we have like a week kind of planned.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, give us a month. Now, as far as the other,
one of the missing Primarchs is not dead.
that'd be awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the way GW left it off is that it could be played or imagined anyway. So even though they are, what's the word? I was just excommunicated. Even though they're like, everything's been deleted off of history from them. I mean, they could still be alive. They could be chaos. They could be in a Xenos world, frozen in time. It's whatever. So, good question.
Yes, thank you. Dark Us Dude Media. I'll try to keep this question short, but meh. If the Void Dragon is on Mars, what's stopping the Necrons from throwing whole tomb worlds at the Sol System in an attempt to capture the Catan? As I understand it, through the Necrons have fewer ships than the Imperium. They have far superior firepower per ship compared. I even recall a story from years ago of a tomb fleet that nearly obliterated a whole Segmentum battle fleet after its tomb world was awoken by a warp storm. So I think that the reason that they're not trying to go for that Catan shard is because there's other Catan shards that are just as equally as powerful as the Void Dragon, and that have less of what's the word?
Negative outcome to it?
Yeah.
I mean,
because like if the Necrons, like they're limited in their resources. Yeah, they're really powerful, but if they're smart too. We always think of the Necrons, or at least they're portrayed in the lore as like this beast, like creature, like the undead, kind of like dumb. But no, as a matter of fact, whenever a Necron Lord is trying to bring up his dynasty, he goes to the Imperium or to whatever alien race is controlling that planet and says, "Hey, you can side with us, and we can settle this diplomatically, or we'll kill you." And most of the time, people pick the non-diplomatic side, but they can be reasoned with, and their reasoning for not attacking Mars is because it's like attacking a bee's nest. Like, you can be a bear, but you're gonna get stung.
yeah, and then at that point, is it really worth losing your whole tomb world for just a shard?
Yep.
And that's if you're even able to get it.
Yeah, and dynasties don't cooperate as much because of the Silent King. The Silent King is no more, or at least he left. Well, they said he came back, but fucking lore. The point is, they're fractionalized. The only story that I know of is when they fought against the Eldar, and the Necrons decided to it's something the Infinite.
Infinity Circuit?
No, I'm talking about the Necron Lord.
Oh,
Trazen the Infinite.
Yeah.
And then there's like two other Necron big warlords that got together to fight the Eldar. But that's about it. Actually, it was in the giveaway video, which we haven't done.
Yeah, we still gotta put that out.
We have to do that today.
Yeah, we will. So it's coming, guys. But yeah, the Void Dragon's supposed to be this big bad, amazing Catan. And as far as I know, he does have mastery over anything mechanical. So if the Necrons do get their hands on it, what they can do is literally limitless. I feel like that is something worth pushing and putting your whole livelihood, I guess you can call it, on the line. Because if you are able to get this shard and control it, you can do whatever, essentially.
It's just that there has not been any rallying point and if they've thought about it, they don't want to take the losses.
Because if you do attack Mars, you gotta think about it. You're fighting the Skitarii, the Adeptus Mechanicus. And not only that, but they're also backed up by the Imperium. So you're gonna have a bunch of Imperial Guard, Sisters of Battle, and the
everything the
Space
Imperium
Marines.
has to offer.
Yeah.
Everything is just gonna come to you and just destroy you.
And then the space is huge. But if you compare how close Mars is to Terra, they'll
You're
be
basically
there.
attacking
Yeah.
Terra, yeah.
They'll be there like that.
Yeah. Good question though, thank you.
Yep. Krimonk Morin. Are orcs biologically immortal? How do nids warp travel, or don't they?
So are orcs biologically immortal? Yes, they're like jellyfish.
Yeah.
A jellyfish will continue to live unless some accidental thing happens to them. But that accidental thing always comes to an orc because an orc lives and grows off of violence.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't know what the average lifespan of a typical orc would be in terms of like, or contributing the social factors. But it'd probably be like a couple years.
Right. And then as far as I know, they just keep on growing and growing, right?
Yeah, they do. So there's actually a story, also in one of the giveaways, where they entered a demon world, and Khorne loved the fact that they just keep fighting and fighting so much that he revives them every time they die. So there's just huge, dark orcs that are just like massive beasts, which is really awesome. I've always wanted to get a
Khorne orc.
Or a warlord, because you know how warlords usually survive the longest, which is like a massively gargantuan, like not a gargantuan. What's the next step?
Titan?
No, what's the stuff below? So it's like, what's a Tyranid like Tyrofan or not?
Hierophant?
No,
Monstrous creature?
A monstrous creature, a warlord monstrous creature, because of that.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Tyranids?
Do Tyranids use warp travel? I don't think they do.
No, I think slow and steady wins the race.
Right, and when they can regenerate and adapt to their surroundings, slow and steady wins the race.
You could actually look at our 40 facts about the Tyranids, part 2. It explains that they have this ship. It's called
The tendril?
no, it's not a tendril. It's a narval, I think, narval or something. But they shoot that out, and that actually bends gravity in a certain way that actually pulls the Tyranid high fleet forward, so it's faster than just like going regular hyperspeed or light speed or whatever.
Proportion. You know what we're talking about.
Yes.
All right, what you got?
Next question comes from Alexander Vicious. Those guys are so high they have no idea what they are talking about. My question is, what did you guys smoke?
You don't want to know.
Cajeta de membrillo.
Ooh.
Google that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Next question.
Shenlong Boy. Very informative video. Great job with the videos, guys. If possible, can you guys answer my question? Yes. And that's it.
Dang.
No, I'm just kidding. He's got more.
Oh.
He goes on to say, every person or character in Warhammer 40K has a name. How come nobody knows the name of the Emperor of Mankind?
His name's the Emperor.
Yeah. Pretty simple.
Like, if I took power, I would only want to be known as the Emperor. Like, I'm pretty sure Napoleon Bonaparte was called the Emperor back in the day.
Or it's the same thing as when you have like your PhD. You want to be called doctor because you earned it.
I used to have a high school chemistry teacher. His name was Dr. Swedler. And he would get really mad if you called him Mr. Swedler, because he had a doctor's degree. So people just started calling him Doc. Kind of same situation with the Emperor.
You had the same teacher that would jump on desks?
No, that was Mr. Stallman.
Okay.
Both of them are retired. I had really old teachers. Next question. Well, there's a bunch of questions from Alexander Vicious. He just rage commented. So I'm gonna read all of them at once. I think they snorted some opiates before filming this video. Barely hanging on by a thread. So sleepy. Take a nap, gents. I was actually really tired by the day that we filmed this. What kind of drugs are you guys into? Spores.
Yeah.
Sound Alchemist. How much did you have to drink before recording this video?
3 barrels.
Of what?
Hennessy.
Damn! Do you know Hennessy was marketed by Nas? Alexander Vicious again. Gersh1, how hard did you party last night? Pretty hard. I think that day I woke up at. You came over at 3:30. I woke up at 3.
Sounds right.
Yep. So it gets crazy.
Oh yeah.
Next question.
And the last question, Austin Palmer says, "What do you think the 3 original starter Pokemon would be in 40K?"
That's a good one.
Well, that's the first part. So we'll answer your first part, and then we'll get to the second.
First part, right off the bat, Charizard is
Corn. Well, yeah, I guess corn.
fire.
Blood.
Yeah.
Bulbasaur would be all Nurgle because he's like plants and like decaying and stuff.
Yep. And then Squirtle. Squirtle, I feel, would be Tau, just because blue, water fish.
Yeah. Devilfishes, riptides, all that stuff. And the second part, also, I'm sure y'all said it before, but do you guys paint with a brush, airbrush, and what do you guys think is easier? I've only used a brush, and I hate painting, so none is easier for me.
I've always painted with a brush. I'm a big fan of washes and dry brushing. That's how I get my orcs done. But lately, I bought an airbrush, and like I've said in other videos, I'm struggling with it because it always clogs up. So I could only paint like a couple Imperial Fists, and then I'm done. Like, by me, a couple, I mean like 2.
Well, that is what a couple.
2 or 3, yeah.
But yeah, thanks for the amazing question.
And we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Don't forget to comment down below because we missed a lot of questions, but we'll try to answer them quicker in the next episode coming tomorrow.
Right. As always, he is
Gersh1.
I'm the Sound Alchemist, and we are part of One Mind Syndicate, and we are out of here.